9:01 p.m. Nini Nguyen is quite pleased with herself after winning the second elimination challenge with her spoonbread with shrimp etoufee sauce. All the other contestants are feeling, this girl can hang. Then there's guilt-ridden Eddie Conrad, who used a good third of his team's $1,500 budget just on his lamb dish while causing the Natalie Moronsky to be eliminated for not having enough lemons for her curd pie dish. It was even more crushing since she won the first challenge. 9:03 p.m. Brian Young teases bathroom mate Brandon Rosen for using a flat iron for his hair. Brandon counters that Brian is like Fonzie with glasses as he flants his own hair. 9:04 p.m. Jingle bells are ringing and wreaths are decking the kitchen. That is why this Yuletide episode is dubbed Naughty and Nice. The guest judges for the Quickfire Challenge are Season 8 All-Stars champ Richard Bless and Season 14 winner Brooke Williamson. David Viana says he is geeking because he has a man crush on Bless. Awkward. 9:05 p.m. Padma Lakshmi, who is apparently too special to wear an ugly holiday sweater like the two judges, explains that the Quickfire requires the chefs to make their best holiday dish in only 30 minutes. And they only have 2 minutes to shop in the pantry. Me thinks she is being a little grinchy. There are boxes with name tags meant to carry their ingredients and they can only cook from what fits in their box, nothing else. Of course, there is a mad dash, or should that be dasher, to grab stuff. Adrian Wright grabs broccoli and cheese for a casserole. Kevin Sharp loads up on lots of flour and doesn't even know why. Brian doesn't think his ingredients will even make a dish. 9:07 p.m. Padma suggests that, before they cook, the chefs should play a holiday game. Anyone ever heard of White Elephant? Boston-based Brian jumps up and down and says, we call it a Yankee swap. A mean-spirited Christmas gift exchange. They draw knives and Pablo Lamon goes first. He can pick any box but his own, but another chef can choose to grab his new one. He picks Eddie Conrad's and it is pretty good, with eggs, potatoes, broccoli, pancetta and heirloom tomatoes. David takes Eddie's, with eggs, corn, beef rib and Jamaican jerk chicken. Eddie snatches David's box. And on. Kelsey Barnard Clark picks Brian's, which basically only has bacon and asparagus. 9:10 p.m. Kelsey is forced to do a play on bacon-wrapped asparagus. Sarah Bradley grew up Jewish, so she is making a play on chopped liver with fried chicken wings and a fried egg. She would brag to her friends as a kid, you had 1 day of Christmas? I had 8 days of Hanukkah. Justin Sutherland gripes after becoming a victim of Kevin's flour fixation. 9:12 p.m. Who had the judges' least favorite dishes? Eddie, who made it muddled curry out of Nini's ingredients. Justin's creation was too much of it salt bomb, with all the pork products. Kelsey didn't fool anyone with her skimpy asparagus and cubes of ham. 9:15 p.m. Time for good news. Sarah got kudos for her play on fried chicken liver. David also gets praise for turning leeks into an actual noodle. Nini also is applauded for what she did with Sarah's box, with apples mixed with nut and cranberry chutney. Who wins? David. This is the second time in a row that he has won the Quickfire. Brooke, who was known as the Quickfire Queen in her season, asks if he is on his way to being the Quickfire King. He now has immunity in the Elimination Challenge. 9:16 p.m. The chefs are sent back to the old Kentucky home away home. There, a large dining table beautifully decorated as Tom Colicchio and Graham Elliott walk out to greet them. They have made them a nice little spread, that's putting mildly. Then someone else shows up, a master of French cuisine, Eric Rippert. The chefs, especially Eric Ajapong, lose their minds a bit. 9:18 p.m. Padme, Richard and Brooke stop by. They raise their glasses and toast as they celebrate Le Réveillon de Noël, Christmas Eve. Tom tells them at his home they celebrated the Feast of the Seven Fishes. The chef contestants share their own family traditions. Padme, ever the killjoy, asks if they what is missing from this festive feast. Why 13 desserts, of course. And there just happen to be 13 cooks. Sign up for Gold Derby's free newsletter with latest predictions 9:22 p.m. The chefs are given 2 hours to make their desserts. Padme says they will have to share space and equipment in the kitchen. Eddie notes that it is midnight. Again, they have to run around and dig up ingredients. 9:27 p.m. Kelsey tries to make 3 desserts: macaron, pâte de crème and biscotti. Kevin attempts a ricotta cake. Eric does an African version of a beignet. Brian mixes shortbread with jam. Adrian attempts an almond dacquoise. Eddie does a kind of shortcake. Nini attempts a vacherin, a combo of ice cream and meringue. Eric and Tom walk in and check out the action. 9:30 p.m. Padme inquires what Tom and Eric saw in the crowded kitchen. Was it a sweet mess, Brooke? It was a hot mess. 9:33 p.m. Time is up and the chefs start serving their desserts. 9:40 p.m. Bedtime for tired chefs while the judges dissect their food. Nini's dish and Kelsey's pâte de crème and biscotti were standouts, even if she had to drop the macarons. David, even though he had immunity, won over Padme with his shot glass stuffed with fun. Eddie's spin on strawberry shortcake also won them over. 9:45 p.m. Kelsey, Nini and Eddie had the favorite dishes of the night. Eddie, hearing that, nearly faints. Graham liked how he combined strawberries and fennel on his twist on shortcake. Tom says Nini's vacherin was complex in flavor but simple in execution. Kelsey explains that when her macarons weren't turning out she switched to biscotti, and Eric praised her chocolate pudding. But Nini's take the prize, her second win in a row. You go girl. 9:50 p.m. Who made the least favorite desserts? Kevin, Pablo and Brian get called out. Brian's excuse for vinegary blue cheese mousse on a biscuit: I don't have a lot of pastry experience. Tom tells Pablo there was something wrong with everything on his plate. Pablo's pate sucre fell flat and his raspberries were unripe. Kevin's salty cherries: no good. 9:52 p.m. Padme says, as silly as Pablo's dish was, the other two punched me in the palate. Rupert says Brian's dish made his throat seize up. So it is down to acidic offense versus salty terribleness. 9:55 p.m. Who is going home? Each one of you knew you had something wrong with your dish, but you still served it to us, says Tom to the bottom 3. Padme delivers the coup de grace. Kevin, please pack your knives and go. Next week, OMG. Restaurant wars time already, and with 3 teams. That means 2 chefs are going home. Thomas heard saying, 16 seasons and this is probably the most difficult restaurant wars.